This episode goes out to Anita in Batcave, North Carolina.
Hi there, Megan Robinson here. Welcome to the first episode of the Nightblade Epic Podcast, Season 2. Sorry it's a day late, but hey, it's better than 6 weeks, am I right? It's so great to be back in the saddle and giving you new episodes of the show. There's been a lot going on while we've been on break, so let's break it down really quick. This season will be 32 episodes long, and you'll be listening to Mystic, the second book in the Nightblade Epic. And speaking of Mystic, it's now available as an audiobook on Audible, as well as virtually every other audiobook platform out there. And we've published Darkfire, the third book in the series, as well as the Nightblade Epic Volume 1, a massive 3-book audiobook collection. We've also released The Mind Mage's Wrath, the second book in the Academy Journal series. And we're almost done recording and releasing all the rest of the Underrealm audiobooks. So if they're not available by the time you hear this, it's literally just a matter of days. As always, you can find these and all our audiobooks at underrealm.net/audio. And purchasing one of our audiobooks is the best way possible to support the show and keep it going. We truly appreciate every one of you who goes out and buys one of our audiobooks. Again, that's underrealm.net/audio. Last thing before we get started, we'd love to see you in our Discord server. Check it out at underrealm.net/Discord, where you can hang out with Garrett and with other Underrealm fans just like you. Okay, now it's time for today's episode. Today you're getting Chapter 1 of Mystic. When we left off, Lauren and Jem had followed Jordell from the city of Cabris, only to find Annis and Zane had gone missing on the road. Enjoy!
Mystic, Chapter 1. The sun broke the horizon east of the King's Road, spilling fallow rays across leagues of empty landscape that ran down from the mountains far, far away. Amber light wrapped around the boughs of the forests to the west, painting them a heady mix of green and yellow. A summer sunrise, a golden dawn that promised a warm day with little wind for relief. Lauren greeted the sun with a raised water skin, as if in toast, and then placed the skin to her lips to drink. She had slept little the night before, too wrapped up in thoughts of her dagger and Jordell and, above all, Zane and Annis. The wizard and the merchant's daughter could be anywhere by now, far ahead on the King's Road or lying in wait around the next bend. Such thoughts spun behind her eyes in endless circles, and in the gray hours before sunrise they had pitched Lauren from a restless slumber. So after creeping from camp to relieve herself, she had settled down against a carriage wheel to await the dawn. From the other side of the carriage, she heard Jem's snores, loud and insistent like a saw with rusted teeth. Though thin and wasted, the orphan boy slept, snored, and ate enough for 2 grown men. Now his noises brought a small smirk to the corner of Lauren's mouth, but it could not last long before her face grew solemn once more. Thoughts of depth are all the more troubling when dealt with alone. Jordell's voice, smooth and soothing, shook her from her reverie. She shifted against the carriage wheel, ill at ease. The mystic sat beside her, folding his legs and pulling his dark red cloak aside to avoid crushing it on the grass. Once settled, he placed his hands upon his knees, staring with Lauren into the east. For some moments they sat that way, bathed in sunlight and in silence. "Not all thoughts bear mention," said Lauren at last, uncomfortable with the quiet. "You alone would know, but rest assured that if they burden you too greatly, I bear a ready ear to share them." I am assured of little, and rest comes hard." Jordell nodded, and again in silence they sat. Normally Lauren did not mind quiet, but she was used to the particular hush of a forest, a stillness filled with the murmur of life. She did not have much experience with the silence of another person, other than Chet, of course, with whom no words had been necessary. Thinking of Chet brought his face into sharp, sudden focus in her mind, and Lauren felt a hollow ache in her gut. How long had it been since she saw him last? More than a week. More than 2, in fact, but not yet a month. It felt like 5 lifetimes. The Lauren who lounged now against the carriage wheel bore little resemblance to the one who had fled the birchwood on the heels of a wizard. Her thoughts went from Chet to Zane, pulling her to the present and to Jordell beside her. In her discomfort she had forgotten his promise, but now it returned to mind. "You said you would tell me of the badge you carry. What is a mystic? Are you a sort of wizard?" "No, not that, though we have many wizards within our ranks," said Jordell. "In fact, they are prized among our number and so highly sought after that many think we accept no others. But if that were the case, I would not wear this red cloak." "It is a mystic cloak, then?" Lauren tried to muster nonchalance, as though she did not burn with curiosity. Jordell smiled. "We have nothing so uniform as that. I must confess again my surprise that you know nothing of our order. Though we are fewer than we were in past years, we are not uncommon across the 9 lands." "You were rare enough in the birchwood," said Lauren. "Never did I see such a badge of office, or hear of it in any tale." "Our work sends us among the simpler folk more rarely than I might wish. Still, there might have been tales." "There were not." Jordell shrugged, as if that were answer enough. "What, then, is your purpose? What sends you seeking after Zane?" Jordell tilted his head, his mouth twisting. "It is difficult to explain, and not all words are mine to speak freely. In the most general of terms, you might say we keep order." "Like the constables?" "Not unlike the constables. Our dress bears common origin with the red of their leather armor. Some of us might wear a red tunic, mayhap, or breeches, but rarely do we travel in our full regalia. Not all look upon us kindly, and many of our deeds must be done in secret." "They do not sound like honorable deeds, then," said Lauren. Jordell smiled. "So says the would-be thief." Lauren felt a flush creep into her cheeks. "Tell me of my dagger that turns your face so grim. What danger does it bring?" Jordell shifted where he sat. "It is a rare weapon, well made, as you have no doubt realized. You would find it difficult to dull the edge, and it will not break without great effort. Only a very few of them were made, crafted by gifted and magical smiths long ago, when Underrealm was but a young place." "And what have they to do with the mystics?" "Your blade is of special significance to our order. Any mystic would recognize it at once. And if some of our highest members were to espy it, you would be in grave danger, as would any who accompanied you." "I seek no trouble," said Lauren. "I wish no one any harm, and I am no fighter besides." "I am aware," said Jordell, "and it is something I admire in you. All of us must draw our lines in this world, and the one who will not take a life is not as weak as many would say. But you will find that not all agree with such a course, nor will everyone treat your own life with the same reverence." "Am I in danger from you, then? Do you, too, see more in my dagger than steel and leather?" Jordell cocked his head. "I am someone strange among my order. I hold certain of our laws less dear, while some laws I value above all else. I would not kill you for holding the blade, nor would I readily reveal to my brothers that you hold it." nor would you take it from me," said Lauren. "You could have done so easily while I slept in Cabris. Why did you refrain if it is so terrible?" Jordell shrugged. "As I said, some laws, however revered, must accommodate the time we live in. You bear the mystics no harm. Indeed, you did not even know of us until I told you. And while I hope you will cast the dagger aside for your own sake, that decision is yours to make." "I will not abandon it. It is mine, taken as token of payment for many years of wrongdoing against me." "By your parents, you mean?" Lauren looked at him, surprised. "You still bear some marks," said Jordell, pointing to her eye. "And if such has been the lot of one so young for many years, those who raised you must have had a hand." Lauren touched the skin around her eye. She had seen it reflected in the water. Its nasty blue had faded, but a dull brown remained. "You make a good guess. And for repayment I have only this dagger and the arrow I planted in my father's leg. But I cannot carry that arrow with me, nor clutch it at night when I remember their cruelty." Jordell thought upon that. The air rang with Jem's snores. "Very well," he said at last, "though I pray you will see reason to change your mind while you still can. I warn you again, let as few people see it as you may, and none from my order. If word were to reach them, and they learned where you came from, your parents would feel the full brunt of their justice." Curiously, Lauren's stomach clenched, and she thought of Damaris. The merchant had feigned ignorance about the dagger, but Lauren knew better than to believe a word from her mouth. For some reason she could not place, it bothered Lauren to think of her parents dragged from their ramshackle hut and put to the question, cruel and stupid though they were. But she said only, "Such justice would be well placed." Jordell nodded. "If you say so. Now let us break our fast. Leagues beckon still." "Wait," said Lauren. "Where shall we go now? We do not know where Zane might be, nor Annis. How will we find them?" "I've thought on that much of the night, when I did not sleep as deeply as you. I think that if the wizard and the girl did not wait, or were forced to move on, then they would have made for Redbrook. It is a riverside town well south of here, where the King's Road bends west along the border of Dorsey. In their place, I would make for Redbrook and wait for our arrival, for there are precious few other destinations along the road south from Cabris." They rose and made their way to the fire, where Lauren roused Jem with a hard shake. The urchin woke bleary-eyed and blinking, and he cursed mightily at the sun as it fell into his eyes. "In the city we never saw the daylight until we were ready," he groused. "No wonder country folk are half mad." They had a quick breakfast of hardtack and bacon, both supplied by Jordell, along with sweet, fresh water from the river that followed the road. Seth, Jordell's driver, was a crafty man with a criminal look. He had a sharp smile and a cruel laugh that came too easily. Many scars crisscrossed his shaved head from crown to jaw. Lauren viewed the man with some apprehension, but Jordell seemed easy in his company.
"I've seen nothing but birds this morn, sir,"
Seth told Jordell in the middle of their meal.
"I've had my bow ready just in case."
"Do you think the constables follow us?" said Lauren. "The constables? No," said Jordell. "But they are not the only ones who seem to bear a grudge against you. The reach of the family Yaren is long, and their fingers never stop grasping."
"I'll cut those fingers off they poke around us,"
said Seth. Jem laughed, but Lauren only felt her appetite wane.
This has been a production of Legacy Books, written and narrated by Garrett Robinson. The music in this podcast was created by Will Musser. Check out his incredible work at willmusser.com. That's WILLMUSSER.com. Today's letter is T. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.